Hey everyone, welcome back to the deep dive. We know you're here because you want to get right to the core of what's hot in tech without getting bogged down in all the details. And well, today we're diving into the Razer Blade 16 gaming laptop.
Yeah, you got it. And to do that, we've gone through a bunch of expert reviews, stuff from sites like RechargeMyTopup.com. They've really dug deep into this thing. And we've also got some other great sources to pull from too, just to make sure we're giving you the whole picture.
Exactly. So our mission here is to basically cut through the noise, give you the most important things you need to know about the Razer Blade 16, how it performs, what makes it special, and whether all the hype is actually justified. And most importantly, we want to make sure it all makes sense, even if you're not, super deep into the tech specs. All right, so first things first, let's talk about that first impression. Like, what's it like when you actually get your hands on this machine?
Well, pretty much every review mentions that unboxing experience, like that it really feels like a premium product right out of the gate. They talk about the ultra-premium aluminum chassis with its CNC milled unibody construction. And, it's not just marketing speak. It actually makes a difference.
Okay. In what way?
Well, this type of construction, it means the laptop's more rigid, more durable. It's going to be able to handle bumps and knocks if you're taking it on the go. And it actually helps with heat dissipation, too, which is pretty important for a powerful machine like this. It really gives you that, that feeling of holding a well-built, high-quality piece of tech.
I can imagine. And of course, you can't talk about Razer without mentioning their design language, right? Like, it's so distinctive.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That sleek, minimalist look, almost stealthy. It definitely has a premium vibe. And of course, you've got the signature Razer Chroma RGB keyboard, which, adds a bit of fun and personalization to the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, the RGB. I gotta love the RGB. But what I find really interesting is, how Razer's managed to make this machine relatively portable, considering all the power it packs.
That's right. I mean, this isn't some super lightweight Ultrabook, but for a gaming laptop, coming in at around 5.4 pounds or 2.4 kilograms, and being relatively thin, it's pretty impressive. It means you could actually, use this as your daily driver, take it to work or class, and not feel like you're lugging around a brook.
Absolutely. Speaking of impressive, we've got to talk about this display because it's not your average laptop screen. It's being called a game changer by a lot of reviewers.
And for good reason. The Razer Blade 16 has this industry-first dual-mode mini-LED display, and it's not just two separate panels stuck together. This is one panel that can actually switch between different refresh rates and resolutions, which is pretty wild.
Okay, now I'm intrigued. What does that mean for the average user? How does that actually work in practice?
So imagine this. You've got a UHD Plus mode, which gives you a resolution of 3840 by 2400, running at 120 hertz. This mode is all about those super crisp visuals, amazing color accuracy, and high resolution. It's like looking at a photograph, but even better. This is perfect for anyone who needs that visual fidelity. Like video editors working on 4K footage, graphic designers, or photographers who want to see their work exactly as it should be.
Okay, that makes sense for those creative tasks where every detail matters. But what about gaming, where speed and responsiveness are key?
Well, that's where the second mode shines. It's FHD plus S, so the resolution's a bit lower at 1920 by 1200, but the refresh rate jumps up to a buttery smooth 240 hertz. Now, this is huge for gamers because that higher refresh rate makes everything feel so much smoother, especially in fast-paced games where you need to react quickly. It's the difference between, winning and losing sometimes.
Wow. So it's like having the best of both worlds, right? Like a high-res mode for detailed work and then a higher refresh rate mode for gaming.
You got it. And don't forget about the quality of the panels themselves. Like a lot of these displays are Kalman verified for color accuracy, which means that what you see on the screen is going to be a very faithful representation of the actual colors. That's really important for professionals who rely on accurate color representation in their work. Plus, whether you choose an OLED or a mini LED variant, you're getting vibrant colors, deep black, and excellent contrast.
That's awesome. But all that visual goodness needs some serious horsepower behind it, right? So what's powering the Razer Blade 16?
Well, we're talking top-of-the-line stuff here. Under the hood, you've got an Intel Core i9-13950HX processor, which is one of the most powerful mobile CPUs you can get your hands on right now. That means you can throw pretty much anything at this thing, whether it's heavy multitasking, video editing, 3D rendering, or running the latest games. And it just handles it without breaking a sweat.
Impressive. And what about the graphics card? It needs to be able to keep up with that CPU, right?
Oh yeah, and it does. It's got an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4090 GPU with a whopping 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 VRAM. Now that's a serious powerhouse. We're talking about playing the most demanding games at max settings with all the bells and whistles like ray tracing enabled. And it's not just for gaming. This GPU is also a beast for creative work, like video editing, 3D modeling, anything that requires a lot of graphical processing power.
That's a killer combo for sure. But what about the other components, like memory and storage? Are they up to par with the CPU and GPU?
Absolutely. You can get configurations with up to 64 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM, which is like the fastest RAM available right now. That means smooth multitasking, no lag when you're switching between applications, and just an overall snappy experience. And for storage, you're looking at up to a 2TB PCIe Gen 4 FSD, which translates to super fast loading times, both for games and applications, and lightning-fast file transfers.
It sounds like a beast. But with all that power packed into a relatively thin chassis, I imagine keeping it cool must be a challenge. What's Razer doing to manage the heat?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Heat management is crucial in a powerful laptop like this. Overheating can lead to performance issues and even damage the components. So Razer has implemented a pretty sophisticated vapor chamber cooling system. It's basically like a mini radiator inside the laptop. It uses dual fans, liquid metal thermal paste on the CPU and GPU for better heat transfer, and an optimized airflow design to keep everything running cool.
That's pretty neat. So they're pulling out all the stops to make sure this thing doesn't overheat, even under heavy load.
Right. The goal is to maintain those peak performance levels even during long gaming sessions or demanding creative tasks. But it's worth mentioning that, like with most high-performance laptops, you will hear the fan spin up when you're pushing it hard and you might feel some warmth underneath the chassis. It's just the nature of the beast, you know?
Makes sense. Now let's talk about battery life. Like, how long can you realistically expect to use this thing unplugged?
Well, for a gaming laptop, it actually has decent battery life. You're probably looking at around 5 to 6 hours of general use, like browsing the web, watching videos, things like that. Of course, if you're gaming or doing heavy video editing, that battery life will drain much faster.
Yeah, I'd imagine. But it's good to know that you can at least get some work done on the go without being tethered to a power outlet all the time. And speaking of portability, what about the power brick? Is it a monster?
Nope, actually, Razer's included a pretty compact GaN charger, which is nice. Gallium nitride chargers are much smaller and lighter than traditional chargers, so that's a plus for portability. And, as we discussed, the laptop itself isn't too heavy or bulky, so it's definitely a machine you could take with you if you need that power on the go.
All right, so we've talked about power, portability. What about connectivity? Like, what kind of ports and wireless options does the Razer Blade 16 have?
Oh, it's got pretty much everything you could need. You've got 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports, which are super versatile. You can use them for charging, data transfer, connecting external displays, all sorts of stuff. Plus, you've got 3 USB-A 3.2 Gen 2 ports for your standard peripherals, a full-size HDMI 2.1 port for connecting to external monitors, and the latest Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth 5.3 for fast and reliable wireless connections.
Wow, so no shortage of ports on this machine. You wouldn't have any trouble hooking up all your gadgets and peripherals.
Exactly. It's a very well-equipped machine in terms of connectivity. And let's not forget about the little things that add to the overall experience, like Windows Hello facial recognition for secure and convenient logins using the built-in IR camera, and Razer Synapse software, which gives you a ton of customization options for everything from RGB lighting to fan control.
Nice. They've really thought of everything. But now let's address the elephant in the room, the price. Because it's not exactly cheap, is it?
No, not really. The Razer Blade 16 is definitely a premium product with a premium price tag to match. But, the general consensus among reviewers is that the price is justified considering all the cutting-edge hardware, that unique dual-mode display, and the overall build quality and design.
Oh, it's definitely an investment, but if you're looking for the absolute best in terms of performance, features, and design, and you're willing to pay for it, then the Razer Blade 16 seems like a pretty solid choice.
I'd say so, yeah. It's not for everyone, of course, but for those who demand the best and can afford it, it's a really impressive machine.
All right, so to sum it all up, what's the takeaway here? For someone looking for a high-performance laptop, whether for gaming or creative work, is the Razer Blade 16 worth considering?
Absolutely. I mean, this is a top-tier machine that excels in pretty much every area. Design, display, performance, connectivity, you name it. It's clearly aimed at those who demand the very best and are willing to pay a premium for it.
Awesome. Well, that should give our listeners a pretty good understanding of what the Razer Blade 16 is all about. But before we wrap things up, I want to leave you with something to think about. The Razer Blade 16 kind of blurs the lines between gaming laptops and creative workstations. It's a powerful machine that can handle both demanding games and professional workloads equally well.
That's interesting.
So, how do you think this convergence of gaming and creative work is going to shape the future of laptops? Like, what kind of features and performance will users come to expect from these portable powerhouses going forward? It's something to ponder, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, as these fields continue to overlap, maybe we'll see even more innovative designs and features that cater to both gamers and creative professionals. It's definitely an exciting time to be following the laptop market.
I completely agree. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for tuning into the deep dive, and we'll catch you in the next one.
See ya.